Troubleshooting Directv grounding issues can often resolve unexpected receiver behavior. Firstly, check the electrical grounding. Ensure the electrical receptacle has a properly grounded outlet. Test the receptacle with a voltage tester to verify proper grounding. This confirms the outlet is providing a safe and reliable electrical connection. Secondly, verify coax grounding. Inspect the coax cable for exposed shielding or damage. Ensure the ground wire in the coax is properly connected to the dish and receiver. Tighten all ground connections to ensure a secure fit. Loose connections can introduce noise and signal degradation. Thirdly, inspect dish grounding. If the dish is mounted on a wooden pole, it may not have a direct earth ground. Consider adding a grounding rod or clamp to the pole and connecting it to the dish ground wire. If the dish is mounted on a metal surface, ensure it is properly grounded to the metal structure. Grounding the dish helps protect against lightning strikes and static discharge. Fourthly, check receiver grounding. Ensure the receiver is properly grounded to the coax ground wire. Inspect the receiver power supply for any signs of damage or loose connections. A faulty power supply can cause grounding issues and receiver malfunction. Fifthly, eliminate interference. Check for potential sources of electrical interference such as fluorescent lights, microwaves, or power lines. Try moving the receiver or dish to a different location to determine if the interference is reduced. Electrical interference can disrupt the Directv signal and cause receiver problems. Sixthly, check for overvoltage. Use a voltage meter to check the voltage at the receiver and dish. Ensure the voltage is within acceptable limits, typically 110 to 120 volts alternating current. If the voltage is too high, it could indicate an issue with the electrical system. Overvoltage can damage the receiver and other electronic components. Seventhly, inspect receiver hardware. Reset the receiver by unplugging it for a few minutes and then plugging it back in. Check for any loose connections or damaged components inside the receiver. Consider replacing the receiver if necessary. Hardware failures can cause a variety of receiver issues. If all else fails, contact Directv technical support for assistance. They may be able to remotely diagnose the issue or send a technician to resolve the problem. Remember, a proper grounding system is crucial for the safe and reliable operation of your Directv system. Proper grounding helps prevent electrical shock, reduces interference, and protects your equipment from damage. To elaborate on electrical grounding, the grounding system within a home or building is designed to provide a safe path for electrical current in the event of a fault. This path helps to trip circuit breakers or fuses, quickly disconnecting the power and preventing electrical shock or fire hazards. The grounding electrode system typically consists of a grounding rod, metal water pipe, or other approved grounding electrode that is connected to the electrical panel. From the electrical panel, a grounding wire runs to each outlet and appliance, providing a connection to the grounding system. When checking the electrical grounding of a receptacle, a voltage tester can be used to verify that the grounding wire is properly connected. The tester will typically have 3 lights that indicate whether the receptacle is wired correctly. If the lights indicate an open ground, it means that the grounding wire is not properly connected, and a qualified electrician should be called to investigate and repair the issue. Focusing on coax grounding, the coaxial cable used for Directv carries both the signal and a ground wire. The ground wire is typically connected to the dish and receiver, providing a path for static electricity and other electrical disturbances to be safely discharged. When inspecting the coax cable, it is important to look for any signs of damage, such as exposed shielding or cuts in the outer jacket. Damage to the coax cable can compromise the grounding system and allow interference to enter the signal. The ground wire in the coax cable should be securely connected to the dish and receiver. Loose connections can introduce noise and signal degradation. It is important to tighten all ground connections to ensure a secure fit. This will help to maintain a reliable grounding system and prevent signal problems. Regarding dish grounding, the grounding of the Directv dish is important for protecting against lightning strikes and static discharge. If the dish is mounted on a wooden pole, it may not have a direct earth ground. In this case, it is recommended to add a grounding rod or clamp to the pole and connect it to the dish ground wire. The grounding rod should be driven into the ground at least 8 feet and should be located as close to the pole as possible. If the dish is mounted on a metal surface, it is important to ensure that the metal structure is properly grounded to the building's grounding system. This can be done by connecting a grounding wire from the metal structure to a grounding rod or other approved grounding electrode. Concerning receiver grounding, the Directv receiver should be properly grounded to the coax ground wire. This will help to protect the receiver from electrical surges and other disturbances. Inspect the receiver power supply for any signs of damage or loose connections. A faulty power supply can cause grounding issues and receiver malfunction. If the receiver is not properly grounded, it may be more susceptible to damage from lightning strikes or other electrical events. When talking about interference, electrical interference can disrupt the Directv signal and cause receiver problems. Common sources of electrical interference include fluorescent lights, microwaves, and power lines. To eliminate interference, try moving the receiver or dish to a different location. This may help to reduce the amount of interference that is affecting the signal. You can also try using a power line filter to reduce the amount of noise in the electrical system. Regarding overvoltage can damage the receiver and other electronic components. Use a voltage meter to check the voltage at the receiver and dish. Ensure the voltage is within acceptable limits, typically 110 to 120 volts alternating current. If the voltage is too high, it could indicate an issue with the electrical system. In this case, it is recommended to contact a qualified electrician to investigate and repair the problem. Concerning receiver hardware failures can cause a variety of receiver issues. Reset the receiver by unplugging it for a few minutes and then plugging it back in. This will often resolve minor software glitches. Check for any loose connections or damaged components inside the receiver. If you are comfortable working with electronics, you can try to repair any damaged components. However, if you are not comfortable working with electronics, it is best to take the receiver to a qualified repair technician. Consider replacing the receiver if necessary. If the receiver is old or has been damaged, it may be more cost-effective to replace it than to repair it. In the event of needing support, Directv technical support can remotely diagnose the issue or send a technician to resolve the problem. They have specialized tools and knowledge to identify and fix complex grounding and signal issues. They can also provide guidance on how to properly ground your Directv system. In summary, troubleshooting Directv grounding issues involves a systematic approach, starting with checking the electrical receptacle and coax connections, inspecting the dish and receiver grounding, and eliminating potential sources of interference. Paying attention to voltage levels and inspecting the receiver hardware can further pinpoint the cause of the problem. And when all else fails, seeking assistance from Directv technical support is always a viable option. Remember that proper grounding is crucial for a safe and reliable Directv experience.